for a reason, because this is our grand champion. Very nice Powhatan owned by Margie over there. We'll let her tell us a little bit about the fish in a minute. I thought easily one of the 3 best fish in the show. Obviously, we thought this was the best fish in the show. I think start with this fish on conformation. When you look at the lines on this fish has excellent lines. Not only over the top, not only over the sides, but when you look from the bottom, you'll see how she transitions really nice from the front, under the belly, and especially into the tail tube. She's got a lot of bulk in that tail tube, and that gives you the impression of power. But at the same time, as you see her swimming around, she's not the big, incredible Hulk bulk swimming around. She shows you that presence of grace. To get power and grace in a koi is difficult, and I think that's what you're looking here. White-based koi, shiroji, very nice. The beni sits nicely on the shiroji, gives you that, the skin quality also gives you the appeal and almost of a 3-dimensional aspect to the color on top of the white as well. I mean, I think a really nice koi that is going to do, wherever she goes in the country, she's going to be in the running. And obviously, this being one of the biggest shows in the country, obviously an outstanding fish. Brian, you got any?
Yeah, first I'd like to publicly congratulate Margie on this win. If there's a list of the best koi hobbyists winning CFKS, definitely put you on that list. Congratulations. Bobby mentioned confirmation is wonderful in this fish. We get drilled confirmation, that's all we hear about how important confirmation is. From a judging standpoint, to be quite honest, confirmation is kind of boring because it's a set of rules. It's basically a checklist. You go down there, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room for confirmation. It has to be there, so you ask yourself, well, why is confirmation so important? Well, actually, I started wondering about this, and I'm reading Kadama, I'm reading Kate McGill. Nobody ever says why confirmation is so important. So I'm thinking myself, you may have your own opinion, is because confirmation is so much a matter of the owner's skill in taking care of the koi. You can make or break a koi in confirmation. And Margie's had this koi, she will tell us a little bit more about it, but she told me earlier she's had this in her pond for 2 years. Well, you can pretty much make or break a koi in 2 years, so good job of koi keeping. Pattern, on the other hand, has a lot of wiggle room. There's rules, but they're not really rules, they're more like a suggestion. So there's a lot of wiggle room. This koi doesn't have what I would call a dynamic type of a pattern or a lot of tension in it, which really works very well on a smaller, medium-sized koi. On a koi this size, I think you want more of a calming pattern. You know, the size of the koi is all that you need. You don't really need a whole lot of excitement. The excitement is just the beauty of the koi and the size. Very nicely balanced pattern. The quality of the shiroji and the beni is second to none.
Who's the breeder?
Taniguchi.
Okay. And then I think this is the fish you got. Did you get this from James?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. So beautiful fish. If anybody gets a chance to go see Margie's pond, go see what good feeding, good husbandry, good filtration, and then I'm biased, but what good genetics does. And it all starts with the genetics, and then you as a hobbyist can either screw it up or let it reach its potential. And this hobbyist has let it reach its potential. Well done.
When I started in this hobby, my first koi show was here in Orlando. And in fact, Brian happened to be one of the judges that was here.
That's when he was number 1 for you, right? Just checking on that.
It was.
Okay.
No, he's still there. But I listened to what the judges told me because I figured that they were the experts in the field. And Steve Childers came up to me, and again, this is my first show, and he said, what kind of filtration do you have? And I thought, I have no idea what I have. I really didn't. I was so new in the hobby. But what they told me, I listened to, and I took it very seriously, that we are stewards of the fish. It's our responsibility to give them the best we can. And that doesn't mean the most expensive, but to give them the best care that we can. And I'm one who wants to learn, and I listen to what they're teaching me, and then I apply it. And I've had very, very good success with my foil. This girl, I've been waiting for her to be 30 inches, because then I knew we could compete with the champions, so, with the big boys. So I didn't know I was going to bring her. I have a heated pond and I have plastic over the pond. And I went, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, who's going to go? And I said, well, let's take Magic. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, you think, Mark?
I think I did.
And we're glad you did.
Yes. Any questions about?
Okay, can you tell us about, a lot of people want to be like you. Can you tell us about the filter system? The talking about old pond?
I have a bead filter.
And
I have a baki shower.
Yes,
I've
baki
got a
shower.
sediment tank. I've got a Cermedia. I've got an 8,500 pond, so it's not a huge pond. But I have flow through. I make sure water is coming in all the time. That's probably the most important thing to me.
So you trickle
I
24/7?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so water.
It's fresh coming in. Now, I happen to live in the mountains, so I have well water. I'm very fortunate that I don't use water.
No, is this fish indoor, outdoor, or?
So the funky, what you see here, continuing from our grand champion discussion, looking at conformation, I thought this fish really has excellent, if almost not perfect conformation. Once again, look at the lines over the top, the lines down the side, the lines underneath. This fish transitions from front to back with a lot of power. I'm going to assume this is a relatively young fish. As far as the quality is concerned, this is really good skin on this fish. The skin's going to give you that three-dimensional aspect, and I think where this fish really helps you out is because you've got the sumi or the black. It really makes that extra dimension, that skin makes those colors pop and show. As far as pattern is concerned, would I like to see a little more Benny in the back? Yes, I think it would really make this fish a little more eye-popping. But I think the quality of the skin, the quality of the sumi, take a good look at the black on this fish. Now remember, the sumi, we don't want to judge so much the sumi or the black that's sitting on the red. That'll give you the false impression that it's much darker and more lacquer because you get a combination of the two dark colors. What you really want to judge is the black on the white. You'll hear about tsubo sumi. Tsubo sumi, everybody thinks means it's in the shoulder. It means critical placement. So what you want is the sumi to be placed in such a way that it augments the beauty of the fish. Really nice sumi placement, especially in the white background on this particular fish. And I think, your fish, right? So how old is this fish?
Just 2.5.
Okay, so young fish. I think this fish has a lot of potential. I mean, if we were given a Tatagoy Award, this probably would be right up there at the Tatagoy Award. So, really nice fish, really great lines. The sumi is really up nicely for this young fish as well. But I think conformation is what I tried to do when we're looking at our judging. I thought we had really good conformation. I think we have really excellent conformation with beautiful skin on this particular fish. And that's the reason that she bumped up through our reserve grand champion. You want to tell us a little bit?
I purchased a fish in Japan. It was over there with Taro 2.5 years ago. A year and a half ago, sorry. We purchased it from the dealer was Takano. It was really unknown. The guy that was had a small mud pond at the back of his house, and he had 3 different ponds in his basement. And when we walked in there and saw, you know, what he had, that's all he does is sake. That's it. It's incredible, and I brought it then from Japan. One of the towers in Hawaii, I had it in Hawaii, and then from there I brought it over.
And you know, if you talk to the breeders in Japan, you ask them what's the most difficult variety to raise in Sake. And if you want to talk about the genetics of Sumi and why that makes them more difficult, I'd be happy. We'll take that somewhere. We'll have a drink and talk about the genetics of Sumi.
It'll be a long drink.
For some people, it's 4 or 5 drinks before we get started. So it can get very boring very quick. But Brian, what do you think?
To go down to size 6 for a reserve champion and show this big is pretty unusual. So that says a lot for the fish. To me, the most appealing part about it is the simplicity of it, the feminine aspect. It's kind of fun to have it in here with a show out so you can see the difference between the masculine and the feminine, almost like a yin and yang thing. They go beautifully together. But to have a sake that has a Sumi that's not only the quality that it is, but the placement and just the minimal number of the Sumi markings on there makes it, you know, a fun fish to follow. Sake is all about flow. You start with your focal point, which is the Katsumi on the shoulder, and the eye moves back along there, and it goes along the stepping stones, and it's just like taking a little trip through the body of the koi. Obviously, it's a little bit light on the back half, but you know, with the genetics of Sumi, generally, Sakis have heavy Sumi in the tail region, so almost better off this way than to have what normally happens is you can have very heavy Sumi back there.
Brian, what did these fish win?
Reserve champion.
And then the show, I actually got my judges award.
Beautiful face on that show up.
Yeah.
More moving down across.
Yeah, the show was the second picture.
Is it? Thought it looked a little familiar.
Yeah.
Did you find that in Japan also?
Yeah, I brought 2 at the same time.
All right, no more questions. Let's go see our show up. So, what I wanted to do today, because I want to have time if everybody wants to go look at some other fish, the judges are going to be here and we'll walk to your tanks and talk to you. So I don't really want to go through the top 3. As we talked about last night, I really thought the top 3 were really, we had 4 that we really had in, I think there's 4 just tremendous fish here. These were our top 3. This is the fish that's going to cause me the most sleepless nights. Because this is the fish that I had the most consternation over. I think this is a lovely fish. And if you told me I get to take home 1 fish from this entire show, I'd take that fish right there. Okay? That's because I don't have a show. Yeah, the Showa. The Showa is our Sakura champion. From a pattern aspect, she is absolutely lovely. Her Ginran is pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see what her Ginran does over the next couple of 3 years. It wouldn't surprise me if this fish is back in 2 years and it's a Showa, not a Ginran. The big issue with her is we didn't think she had quite the conformation of our top 2 fish. But as far as just being a striking, pleasing fish, this may be, from a pattern standpoint, just pretty effective to see on the show. Yeah, this one probably, with the bulk of any conversation we had, this was the #1 fish as far as us having talking points. But I think she has some absolutely amazing qualities about her that you can really appreciate with her Sumi, with her Gin, and then just her overall presence. Minwari, you'll hear us talk about Minwari. Minwari is where you get a pattern going from the top down to the face, down to the mouth. Hachiwari is, I always think about hatchery, well, I used a hatchet on my fish. So the hatchery is what goes across the top of the head. And these are the kind of things these are refinement principles, and to find a fish with minwari, hatchery, with the quality of sumi we have here is difficult. So striking fish definitely deserve our Sakura champion and really put a strong run up to the other 2 spots as well. The other thing, Ginrin fish do not grow as big as non-Ginrin fish.
This might be the exception.
That's the reason you have to really look at her even stronger, because to find this big a fish as a Ginrin is difficult. So that actually elevates her up, because as smaller fish as Ginrin should be, she breaks the mold. So in biology, we talk about our bell-shaped curve. Well, this girl on size is way down on the far end of that bell-shaped curve, and that actually elevates her up as far as our opinion from a judging standpoint. And she's just a fabulous fish and well-deserving of our Sakura award.
So Robert, that Ginrin can come and go?
Yeah.
Come and go? Or
No,
just
no,
go?
no, no. It just goes.
They won't come, it
So if
goes.
you go look at our small Ginrin fish,